a very good morning and welcome, sports fans, to another episode of Legends Never Die. I am your host, the Legend Crosby. Happy Friday. I hope you guys are all going to have a great weekend in sports. We're going to get in all of that. I think first we will start with our legendary salutes, and then we will get into the show. All right, so let's do that. Let's go ahead and get into the legendary salutes right over there. Well, hello, and welcome to Legendary Salutes, where we like to take some time to salute those stories that we probably wouldn't get to in the main show, but we like to honor some of these people for the things that they do. Our first legendary salute is a very somber one. Hank Aaron has passed away today at the age of 86. That's very, very sad. Hank Aaron made his debut in 1954 with the Milwaukee Brewers. He had 755 home runs. God dang! Over his career, 25 All-Star appearances, and was an MVP awarded in 1957. He was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1982. So we should have made sure we gave this man his flowers before he left. I salute you, good sir. Our second legendary salute goes to the Bills Mafia. All right. Now, Lamar Jackson suffered a concussion in last week's match against the Buffalo Bills, in which the Baltimore Ravens lost. Because of this, the Bills fans, which are known as the Bills Mafia, has started donating to one of Lamar Jackson's favorite charities. It's called Blessings in a Backpack. 16,450 people have donated more than $458,000. Salute all weekend for the Bills. I am even going to root for you, even though I know you're going to lose. Shout out. Our third legendary salute goes to Master Sergeant Sharice Gicking. She will be retiring from the U.S. Air Force after 21 years of service to our country. Salute. Very proud of you. Can't wait for Monday. Excited to be there for you, sis. And lastly, in our gaming community, it is now a sport. Don't get it twisted. Our legendary salute goes to Calvin Allen. Now, Calvin is an up-and-comer in the gaming community. He's pretty good, okay? I played him in Mortal Kombat, and he served me up. He even served me up with my own player, okay? I used Kung Lao. Dude gave me that work. Very annoyed by that. So I know some of these gaming tourneys are going to be starting to pop up here pretty soon. I'm expecting and excited to see what you can do. Stop practicing so much and just go play. Those are our salutes for the day. Now let's get back into this sports. Well, we have a great weekend of football for you. It's our final four teams. This should be very exciting. We will get into those and get into our picks in a moment. However, let's get into the news to get started. We will go to Philly first. Now, in Philly, the Eagles have hired Indianapolis Colts' old offensive coordinator, Nick Sirianni. He will now be the new head coach. I don't like it. Not a big fan. Now, he was previously an assistant for the Chargers for 5 seasons. He was also an assistant for the Kansas City Chiefs for 4, and I believe he's done the last 3 with the Colts. Not a big fan of the guy. I just feel like that entire situation there needs a veteran coach. It needs veteran leadership. To me, this is what it looks like. It looks like the NFL has gone down this Sean McVay road. Let's get this young guy in because he's going to make a difference. Sean McVay is kind of an outlier, you know. That's not how this always works. But I see the trend. We're all trying to get this young guy who's in the background, and Eric Spoelstra, who's just, you know, running the video campaign, and now all of a sudden he's a head coach. Eric Spoelstra is another outlier. These are not the real things that happen. So I need the NFL owners to do better, number one. Number two, whatever. We'll get into the rest of it, but not a big fan of it. Nonetheless, He's just going to have to get out there to Philly, get a feel for the city, get a feel for the fans, see what the fans are looking for. I've got like a hair that is just playing on my face. As well as he'll have to get understanding for this quarterback situation with Carson Wentz there, and then you got Jalen Hurts. And to me, it looked like the team was following Jalen Hurts. Now, he will have an understanding about Carson Wentz because, like I said, he's been in Indy. Coach Reich is there. Now, Coach Reich was the offensive coordinator for Philly during their Super Bowl run. So he was there with Carson Wentz. He should have a decent feeling about what's going on there. So we'll see. Congratulations, Philly, I guess. I could be wrong, but congratulations. And moving on to Washington. Now, the football team has made some changes to their personnel again. So on Tuesday, they did hire Hurney. He was going to be the GM. Instead, he got bumped up. He's going to be the executive VP for player personnel. Now, San Francisco's old executive for player personnel will actually be taking the GM role for the Washington football team. The brother's name is Martin Mayhew, Martin Mayhew, okay? So he's been with 49ers for their player personnel. He was also a GM for the Detroit Lions for 8 seasons. I don't know if that's a positive or a negative, but we'll see what's going on. So a lot of shakeups going on with that Washington football team in the upper levels. We'll see how that filters itself down to player personnel. So congratulations to both gentlemen. May you guys have much success there in Washington. Let's move on to Minnesota. Big-time legendary salute to Gary Kubiak. He has announced his retirement on Thursday. So yesterday he did say that after 36 years of being a player and a coach, he is no longer going to fill a position in the NFL. So salute to you, sir. He is a Super Bowl winning coach. Don't get it twisted. He did take Denver and Peyton Manning to a Super Bowl. So congratulations, and, you know, may you enjoy your time at home. Moving on to Detroit. Now, Detroit has hired Dan Campbell to be his head coach, their head coach. I don't know if you guys saw the press conference with Dan Campbell. A little excited. It reminds me of a lot of coaches that I've seen in the past, like a Mike Singletary kind of deal. They never pan out. They never pan out. You could probably have that excitement in another sport, like maybe a basketball coach. I just don't see how that works with 53 players. So, whatever, I wasn't completely dismayed about his performance, I guess is what we could call it, his podium opening, but, you know, he's going to take out some kneecaps over the years. Shout out to Nancy Kerrigan. Nonetheless, he spent the last 6 years, this is a 6-year deal. I do wonder if he'll get past 3. Detroit always is running through quarterbacks. I mean, coaches never should have got rid of Caldwell. I don't even understand why he doesn't have a job right now. But we'll get into that another time. The last 5 years he's spent as a tight ends coach for the Saints and an assistant to the head coach. So that's what he's been doing. In 2015, he did take over for the Miami Dolphins for interim head coach. I can't remember who got fired in 2014. But he did take over for that season. He did okay. I think he won like 7 games that season. I think it was 7-4 was their record under him. But nonetheless, he's your coach. Congratulations. Moving on, Kansas City. So the Urban Legends were right. Pat Mahomes is back on the field. He is still in concussion protocol. I think I have a concussion. But he did take the majority of the snaps on Thursday. I'm sure he will do the same today. Also, Clyde Edwards-Helaire did practice for the second straight day. He's coming back off of a calf injury, I believe it was. And Sammy Watkins also practiced on Thursday. So it looks like Kansas City is gearing up for this push here towards the Super Bowl. Good job for you guys. Hope you guys all get back well. Moving to Pittsburgh, the Steelers have signed Dwayne Haskins to a futures contract, okay? So the team said this yesterday. Now what this does essentially is, this ties him to the Steelers organization, essentially just saying he's a member of the roster during the offseason, and this will give him a chance to get on the actual 53-man roster come training camps and things of that nature. I do think they'll keep him. He was cut by the Washington football team earlier this season for some off-the-field issues. He's in love with the strippers, so that's what happened there. You know you did something bad at the Washington football team with all their problems been coming out, and they let you go. So you know you was messing up, player. But I like this. I think this is a real big deal. They like that big Ben Roethlisberger, big quarterback guy. Dwayne Haskins is a big quarterback guy. He had a good one season in Ohio State. Not into college like that too much, but he did play for Ohio State, and I believe tore it up for one good season. Just didn't look right coming into the league. Just needs that tutelage that only Tomlin can give you. So congratulations, sir. Make the roster. Let's do that, okay? Make the roster. And lastly, Tampa Bay. Bruce Arians did say that Antonio Brown was going to be day-to-day, but then I did find out right before I started shooting that he's actually going to be not playing. He will be inactive on Sunday when they take on the Green Bay Packers. So something must really be going on there. Again, lack of preparation coming back to the field, and you guys are asking him to do a whole lot. So I think that's good. Take the 2-3 week rest, man. I mean, you have a chance to beat Green Bay, and if you guys get to the Super Bowl, you come light it up like T.O. did that one season. Remember that? I think it was like 118 yards, like 9 catches or something like that. Really good game. So the MRI came up negative with Antonio Brown, so not quite sure what's happening there, but it seems like it could be something partially serious. Now, let us get on to our scores for the day, and then we will talk a little bit more sports. Right back. All right. We've got 2 very exciting football games coming up for you this weekend. First things first, we have the NFC. We have Tampa Bay, Terrible Tom, heading up there to go see Brett Favre. Heading up to go see Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. I don't know what year I just thought it was, but this is going to be our NFC Championship game. I'm going with Green Bay, okay? I like what Tampa Bay's got going on. I feel like there was a game this year where it was the first half of the season. I mean, it was the first half of the game. They looked like horde, and then Tampa Bay let Tom take over, and the coaching just accelerated from there. So I love what they got going on there. I just don't see them coming out of Green Bay victorious. It won't shock me if it happens. I just don't see it. I like Green Bay in this match. That's where I'm going. Now, our AFC Championship game is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Buffalo Bills. I think this is going to be the better game of the two. I do. I think this one will be a close, tight game. We still got Mahomes in concussion protocol. Kansas City still got some players out. And what are you going to do with Stephon Diggs? My goodness. You know, outside game, love the outside environment. I'm going to have to stick with Kansas City. I just have more faith in the coaching staff. I feel they will find a way. And I like the defensive secondary. I can't wait to see the Badger with Stephon Diggs. Let's see who's going to win that match at the end of the day. But I'm going to have to just stick with Kansas City, even though they're in my division. They're just a beast, man. So that's what I got for the football. We'll get back to the news right now. All right, so good weekend of football. Very excited to see what's going to happen with those 2 games. Final Fours are always fun. Moving on to basketball. We had a bunch of games happening over the past couple of days. We will start off on Wednesday. So we had the San Antonio Spurs. They were playing the Golden State Warriors. Golden State took them down 121-99. Steph Curry had 26 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. Great game by the young fella. You see, you guys talk mess about him. Now he's just coming out here and just lighting y'all up. So have fun with that. The Dallas Mavericks went to Indy. They beat Indy 124-112. Porzingis actually went 27-13-4. Sabonis is out here just balling, 25-10, 4 assists for the man. So good job for that. The Brooklyn Nets took on the Cleveland Cavaliers. This was a double overtime game, monster game by Colin Sexton. He dropped 42. Brooklyn lost this 147-135 in the double overtime. Boston took on Philly. Philly won that one, 117-109. Miami took on Toronto, and they won 111-102. The Detroit Pistons took on the Atlanta Hawks. This was another overtime game. This finished up at 123-115. And the Orlando Magic went to Minnesota. They won 97-96. That was a walk-off shot. That was a nice ending to that game. Pretty cool. The Phoenix Suns took on the Houston Rockets. And, excuse me, Phoenix won 109-103. And the Sacramento Kings took on the Clippers. The Clippers beat them 115-96 as expected. And of course, the postponed games were the Wizards and the Hornets, and the Grizzlies and the Trailblazers. Then on Thursday, yesterday's games, we got the Lakers starting a 7-game road trip here. They won 113-106 over the Milwaukee Bucks, and this is a tough stretch here. So I hope that they can pull out, 4-3, 5-2 record as they take this road down. The New York Giants took on the Golden State Warriors and won. Draymond was ejected in that game, which the refs came out later and said it was an accident, but I mean, you kind of took away their thunder there. But they lost 119-104, and the New Orleans Pelicans took on the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz won that game 129-118. Donovan Mitchell dropped 36 on him, so let's give him his flowers right now. That's awesome. So those were the games that we had. In a little bit, we will get into the games that we're going to have, but let's get on to some news, shall we? On this day, 15 years ago, Kobe Bryant dropped 81. He dropped 81 on the Raptors on this day 15 years ago. I want you guys to know a secret. Never seen that game. I am not a person who likes to watch replays of games. So if it's not live, I just won't watch it. However, I really want to watch this game. And I know that his anniversary is coming up in a couple of days. I'm hoping one of the channels will have that game on because I would love to see the 81-point game in its entirety. So that's that. Now, moving on. The Wizards have signed Alex Len to a 1-year deal. Alex Len was just waived by the Toronto Raptors. So he's going to get a 1-year contract. This will help build some stability. These guys in Washington are getting hit by the Rona pretty hard. They've had a bunch of games postponed so far. They haven't played since the 11th. So that's kind of what's going on there. The Rona is taking away all their players. And then on top of that, they lost Thomas Bryant, who was balling. But he suffered a partial tear in his ACL. So this will be some good stability coming to their bench. And hopefully they can get back out on the floor and actually play some basketball games. The Cleveland Cavaliers have traded the swingman Kevin Porter Jr. I don't know if you guys heard. This was a kind of unfair situation. Now, he has not been with the team because of some personal issues. I would assume the personal issues are valid because they're still paying this man. So they had a trade with the Brooklyn Nets in that 3-team deal to get James Harden. They picked up a guy by the name of Taurean Prince. They took Kevin Porter Jr.'s locker and moved it to put Taurean Prince's stuff there. And I guess when he got to the gym, he found out, got very upset, yelled and screamed, made faces at the coach, the GM, other personnel. So they shipped his butt right out of town. They traded him to the Houston Rockets for a protected future 2nd-round pick. However, the urban legends around the campfires are that pick's never even going to come to fruition anyway. So they just wanted to get rid of the guy. That's what happened there. So welcome to Houston. I hope you play there. Moving on, the Memphis Grizzlies will be missing their next 3 games. There is 1 versus Portland, and then they have 2 versus Sacramento Kings, so all 3 of those games will be postponed. I feel bad for the other teams who are ready to go, and they have to sit back. Like the Kings, they're ready to go play. What are they supposed to do? You know what I mean? So it's just a weird situation that this has to happen. Shout out to the Rona, I guess. Anyway, so they're going to miss the 1 game versus Portland, 2 versus Sacramento. This is all due to this Rona popping up in the sports community. So far, we have had 20 NBA contests postponed because of the Rona. Okay? I need that guy to take a back seat, man. I don't even know him like that. So, that's what's happening there for our basketball news. Now, let's get into these games for the weekend. I'll give you my picks. Let's get over to it right now. Right. Our basketball games for tonight are going to look like this. First, we have the Chicago Bulls taking on the Charlotte Hornets. I like the Hornets in this. They're at home. I think they'll feel comfortable. I'm taking the Hornets. We've got the Houston Rockets taking on the Detroit Pistons. I'm going to say this is the game Houston finally gets together. They start playing like a team. I'm going with Houston on that one. We've got the Orlando Magic taking on the Indiana Pacers. I like Orlando in that. The Boston Celtics taking on Philly again. I'm going to say Boston wins this one. I think Philly served him up last time. Embiid had like 42 points. I'm going to go with Boston on that, okay? The Miami Heat are taking on the Toronto Raptors. I like Toronto in that game. The Brooklyn Nets are taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. It can't happen twice, okay? Lightning ain't going to happen twice, okay? It's not a bottle. Brooklyn should take that down. And I think pretty convincingly, I think they'll be pretty pissed off. And I think that they'll work out the way to make those three guys play together. I heard with, who's the big bruh? Kendrick Perkins. I'm not a big fan he is, but I heard Kendrick Perkins saying the other day that Kyrie should do the coming off the bench role. I look at it more like probably James Harden should do the coming off the bench role. I think he's better at that, and he'll keep the other players involved in the game. So that's the way I look at that. Nonetheless, let's move on. We've got the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. I like Atlanta in that game. I think Atlanta should take that down. We have the Dallas Mavericks and the San Antonio Spurs. You know what? I actually like San Antonio in that game. I'm going to take San Antonio. Let's see how that plays out. The Knicks and the Kings will be playing with each other. Oh, that sounded crazy. The Knicks and the Kings will be playing. I'm going to go with the Sacramento Kings. The OKC Thunder will be playing the Clippers. Obviously, I like the Clippers in that. The Denver Nuggets and the Phoenix Suns will be playing each other. I can't wait to watch this game tonight. That should be fantastic. That should be a barn burner. I'm going to say Phoenix pulls that out. I'm going to say Phoenix pulls that out. Where there's a will, there's a Chris Paul, there's a way, he'll get it done. And then we have our two postponements for today. Will be the Wizards and the Bucks, and the Grizzlies and the Portland Trail Blazers. So those will be our games for Friday. Our games for Saturday will be like this. The Golden State Warriors will be taking on the Utah Jazz. I like Utah in that one. I think Donovan Mitchell is going to keep performing. And, Golden State just had that weird loss. It didn't seem like that should have been the loss, but I do feel that they're headed for 2 in a row. The Lakers will be taking on the Chicago Bulls. This is a part of our 7-game road trip. Of course, I like the Lakers in this. Philly will be taking on Detroit. I like Philly. The Miami Heat will be taking on the Brooklyn Nets. If Miami can get healthy before that game, I would definitely take Miami in that. I just think their team is better. But if they're still a bunch of scratches like they have right now, I have no choice but to take Brooklyn. So that is what that is. The New Orleans Pelicans will be taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. I like the Pelicans in that match. The Houston Rockets will be taking on the Dallas Mavericks. I'm going to go with Dallas. I do feel tonight's game Houston will win, but I will say Dallas will take it down tomorrow night. And then lastly, we have the Denver Nuggets and the Phoenix Suns again. I'm going to say Phoenix takes them both. Phoenix takes both of those. And then for Sunday's matches, we have the Toronto Raptors and the Indiana Pacers. I'm going to go with the Pacers. I think they'll start picking it up. Some of the players will start coming back. I'm going to go with the Pacers for Sunday. The Oklahoma City Thunder and the LA Clippers. Again, I'm going to say the Clippers win that. That's a better team. What are you supposed to do? The Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. I like Boston. The Orlando Magic and the Charlotte Hornets. Now, this game will be in Orlando. They've also been hit by this rash of injury bugs. I'm still going to go with Orlando. I think Orlando will win that. Charlotte just seems like they're a team in search right now. So some wins, some losses, but they just don't have an identity yet. The Wizards, if they play, will be playing against the San Antonio Spurs. Obviously, I like the Spurs in that. It's always Pop, what he's supposed to do. The Atlanta Hawks will be taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks should win that pretty handily. I think that they're going to be suffering a hangover from this Lakers loss. So they're going to start punching people in the mouth. I think that's kind of the route they'll be going there. The New York Knicks will be taking on the Portland Trail Blazers. Finally, if that happens, who knows with all this contact tracing. I'm going to say Portland, even though they've lost every guy on the team except for Dame Lillard. I hope that they listen to my show and they see they need to start using Carmelo Anthony better. That's what we will say. And then our postponement will be the Sacramento Kings and the Memphis Grizzlies. Those are our basketball games for the week. Let's get back to the news. Now on to baseball. So the San Diego Padres have agreed to a 3-year, $21 million deal with Jurickson Profar. He hit 278, 7 homers last season, had 25 ribbies in the 56 games with the Padres. So they just gave him a nice little bump, so he's not going anywhere. Respects. Salute to you, sir. I like what the Padres are doing. They seem like they're making the right moves to kind of stack up, and they've got a leader with Machado. Good job going on there. Houston has picked up catcher Jason Castro on a 2-year, $7 million deal. He is coming over from the Padres. Gonna compete, and I think he probably will take that job from Martin Maldonado. I'm having a rough one today. I don't know if you guys are hearing the same thing I'm hearing, but it's just the words aren't flowing. But Martin Maldonado, whatever. Chicago has signed Austin Rumman to a 1-year, $1.5 million deal. He's a catcher. He's going to be backing up Wilson Contreras. So I like that play as well. The Marlins are adding to their bullpen, and they have signed righty Anthony Bass on a 2-year deal. Numbers not disclosed. The Twins have added pitcher J.A. Happ. He's going to be there on a 1-year, $8 million deal. So again, like we talked about the last show, a lot of pitcher movement happening this year. I'm liking what's going on, though. That is totally cool. And the KC Royals have signed Wade Davis to a minor league contract. I believe he's like a 15, 20-year veteran. So it's good to see him still playing, still doing the thing that he loves. One last thing I want to talk about in reference to baseball is this whole debacle with the Blue Jays. As I was saying on my last show, I'm literally getting messages in reference to people gossiping about this deal. There were a lot of urban legends when it was supposed to be true. Comes to find out, Michael Brantley ain't going anywhere. He will be staying with the Houston Astros. He's getting a 2-year, $32 million deal. Everybody thought he was going to go hook up with George Springer, who just got that $130-something million deal from the Blue Jays. And it was all over the internet, all over the Twitters. But it came out to be false. He got the contract, and as I've heard, they were nowhere near a deal. So, urban legends, what can you do? So that's our baseball. Let us move on to a little bit of hockey, shall we? We did have some games last night as well as on Wednesday night. Let's talk about that. Then we'll get into the news, and we'll talk about our upcoming games for the weekend, shall we? That ain't me, that's him. Well, that was fun. The Toronto Maple Leafs forward Joe Thornton, he's going to miss at least 1 month due to a rib fracture. Star pivot Austin Matthews is also day-to-day with an upper body soreness, and he won't play tonight against Edmonton. So if you saw it, he got a hit on Wednesday. It didn't look bad. It just kind of looked awkward. Like, when you stretch and you pull something, you could feel like, I pulled something in my side. That's kind of what it looked like that happened. The hit wasn't hard at all. So get well soon to both of you guys. Sorry for the fractured wrist, part of the game. But you guys get better, get back healthy. The Washington Capitals have 4 players that are going into quarantine, and they will miss at least the next 4 games. Now, the team has said all 4 players have apparently violated the league's Rona protocols, and the team itself will also get a $100,000 fine. I guess they were hanging out in the lobby of the hotel, and this is what this is all about. Ovechkin is one of the guys. His lady came out, and she kind of went at them in reference to these protocols, and I totally am on her side. It all sounds so silly, but everybody's still trying to figure out this Rona. I don't know. It is affecting our sports. Okay, I'm sick of seeing postponed games. I need y'all to figure it out. I don't even know this dude. Now, if we can just discuss real quick some of the games that we did have over the last couple of days, we will do that right now. I'm pulling those up as we speak. On Wednesday night, we did have the Arizona Coyotes taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. They were here in town. The Knights won that one 5-2. Remember, we were talking about that on the last show. The Oilers took on the Maple Leafs. They won 3-1. The San Jose Sharks fought the St. Louis Blues. They won this one in a shootout. That was 2-1. The Minnesota Wild took on the Ducks. The Ducks lost that 3-2 is the final, and the Canadiens and the Canucks went to a shootout as well. That finished out at 5-6. Now, on Thursday, yesterday, we had the Philadelphia Flyers taking on the Boston Bruins. Another shootout. That was 4-5. We had a New Jersey Devils heading to the Islanders. Like I said, I wanted to choose the Devils, but I had a feeling about the Islanders. They won that 4-1. Winnipeg and Ottawa played each other. The Jets took that down 4-1 as well. Tampa Bay took on Calgary. The Blue Jackets lost in overtime 3-2. The Montreal Canadiens, why did I say it like that? See, I told you the words just aren't flowing today. The Montreal Canadiens and the Vancouver Canucks played. The Canadiens took that down 7-3. The Colorado Avalanche took on the LA Kings. The Kings won that 4-2. And then, of course, as we already discussed, the Florida Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes were postponed. Now, let's get into our scores for tonight, Saturday and Sunday, and then we will finish up the show with a couple of different topics here. Okay? This time we'll do it right. We'll go right over there. All right, so we have a few icings going on this weekend. Let's start with tonight's matchups. First and foremost, we've got the Rangers taking on the Penguins. Of course, I'm going to run with the Penguins. Shout out Sidney Crosby. That's my guy. The Vegas Golden Knights are heading to Arizona this time around to take on the Coyotes. I like Vegas in that match still. Their captain's still out. Get well soon, but I'll take Vegas. The Buffalo Sabres will be taking on the Washington Capitals. Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm going to say the Sabres pull that out. You know, especially with all the situations going on there in Washington. I forgot about that. That should have been a quicker answer. The Edmonton Oilers will be taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. I like Edmonton in that match. The Red Wings will be facing off against the Blackhawks. I'm going to take Chicago there. I feel like that's going to end up in an overtime match. I'm going to take Chicago on that one, though. We've got the San Jose Sharks taking on the Minnesota Wild. Of course, I'm going to go with Evander. Take San Jose. The Nashville Predators and the Dallas Stars. I like Nashville in this matchup. I do. I like Nashville in this matchup. And then we have the Colorado Avalanche heading over to go take on the Ducks. We'll go with the Avalanche on that one. For Saturday, we've got the Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Calgary Blue Jackets. I'm going to go Tampa Bay on that. I'm going to say Tampa Bay is going to win that one. The Canucks and the Canadiens, I'm going to go with the Canucks. They're at home. The Flyers will be taking on the Boston Bruins. Let's go Boston. That's a gambler's pick right there. I'm going to go Boston on that. I'm going to say they beat Philly that game. The LA Kings will take on the St. Louis Blues. This is in St. Louis. Coming off a flight, I'm going to go with the Blues this match. I'm going to say the Blues take that down. The Ottawa Senators and the Winnipeg Jets will be matching up. I'll see the Winnipeg. Winnipeg's going to win that match. And then we have a postponement of the Florida Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes as well. And on Sunday, we have a long list of games as well. Again, Vegas will be in Arizona taking on the Coyotes. For the Sunday match, I'm going to say the Coyotes pull that out. I see we beat them here. I think we're going to beat them once more there. And then for that third matchup there, I'm going to see the Coyotes pulling that one out. Let's go the New York Rangers and the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm going to stay with Pittsburgh. I'm going to stay with them. I think they're going to take them down both times. The Detroit Red Wings and the Chicago Blackhawks. Back-to-back like that. That's why I hate these schedules for this Rona Reserve season, because they're putting these games back-to-back, and it's like, that's just so dull. Blackhawks, fine. The Buffalo Sabres, Washington Capitals will take Buffalo in that. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Calgary Flame. I like Calgary, but I'm going to take Toronto. The New York Islanders and the New Jersey Devils, again, I like what the Devils could do. I'm going to go with the Islanders again. I think that's the only fair answer. The Colorado Avalanche will be taking on the Anaheim Ducks again. Did anybody find out from me if they were still mighty? I'm not sure. I'll take Colorado again in that match. The Kings and the Blues will be matching up with each other. We'll go with the Kings. We have the Nashville Predators taking on the Dallas Stars. See, these back-to-back matches like Dallas. I'll take Dallas. And the San Jose Sharks, Minnesota Wild. Let's go with Minnesota. They're at home. I like that bet. And the Edmonton Oilers will be taking on the Winnipeg Jets. Again, I'm going to go with the Jets. They're at home. It is what it is. I don't like these schedules. I need you sports commissioners to give me a call and explain the reasonings behind this, okay? Thank you so much. Let's get back to the news. Just some quick things off the topics here in boxing. Canelo Alvarez has signed a 2-fight deal with Matchroom Boxing beginning in February. He's got a fight coming up against Avni Yildirim. Okay, now both of these fights will be on the Zone. I've not gotten into the Zone. I watch all my sports on a different platform. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. So I haven't really gotten into the Zone. I'm not a fan of their marketing, though. That's the one thing I will say. I'm just not a big fan. You have an easy name, like a Hulu name, you know, DAZN. It's easy to say, but I'm not a huge fan of their marketing. But nonetheless, congratulations to Canelo Alvarez. We will be looking forward to seeing you get back in the ring. Moving on to MMA, we have the fight going on this weekend. UFC 257 is happening. This will be Saturday, so this morning, McGregor and Dustin Poirier both made weight. Connor's at 155, Poirier's at 156. They will be headlining 257 this weekend. Looks like it's going to be a good match. I'm going to do this sitting down. I love Conor McGregor. I'm going to go with Dustin Poirier. Okay? I just have a feeling. I'm going for Conor, and if I was going to put money on this fight, I would put my money on Conor. But when I sit here and I watch it on Saturday, I just have a feeling that he's going to lose this fight. I hate to say that, okay? But it is what it is. Now, also from the UFC bubble, lightweight Ahmed Avatar, I hope I said that right. I hate butchering people's names. He's been removed from the bubble, okay? This happened this morning. They were sneaking someone into the bubble. If you heard the story, this guy was jumping from balcony to balcony. It sounded like something that you see in an action movie. So I'm not sure what's going on, but apparently somebody cut off a wristband, gave it to this dude. Dude ran up in the hotel, went up like 4 floors, was jumping balcony to balcony, dropping off briefcases. I don't know what was going on, my G. But whatever. He's been bumped. Now, he was supposed to fight this weekend against Matt Frevola, but obviously he was removed immediately. So Frevola now will be facing Arman Sarukin. I hope I said, man, y'all know what it is. Sarukin. Okay, that's where we're going. Lastly for the day, we got some PGA news. The American Express tourney is going on. Brendan Hagee is leading that after day one. They're still running the rounds right now, so I'm just giving you Thursday's information. He was 8 under 64 as of Thursday. And then we also have the Abu Dhabi Championship that is also underway with Roy McIlroy. He's taking the lead after Thursday. He's at 8 under 64 as well. So those are our golfs. If you have nothing to watch this weekend, I don't know what to tell you. You got golf, you got MMA, you got basketball, you got football, you got hockey. Okay, these are just the sports here in America. I haven't even gotten into the soccers, so let's enjoy our weekend. All right, that is another wonderful, hard saying episode of Legends Never Die. I thank you guys so much. Do me a favor before you go. Like the video, share the video, comment on the video, and by all means, subscribe. I'd love for you guys to come hang out with me, talk some sports. All right, let's get all those buttons. Let's push them right over the ledge for me. This has been another episode of Legends Never Die. I am your host, the Legend Crosby. We will see you on Monday.